Welcome everyone. Today we have another new episode, and this episode with our honorable chairman, Pacific Crime Business Council, as well as a big media personality who done a lot of things around the world with his business activities, with his social work, lot of his initiative he is taking right now. So we want to know our future of entertainment industry, because he has huge knowledge on entertainment industry, and beside that we know more about Pacific Rim Chamber of Commerce. So Mr. Homestoner, how are you today? Happy Easter.
Happy Easter to everyone. I hope everyone is enjoying this holiday season.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So sir, how do you want to analyze your point, especially future of entertainment? And like, you have a huge like engagement with entertainment industry, and I think COVID is the right time that many things may be changed, maybe entertainment industry also change. What are your views?
Everything changes with COVID and no COVID. Everything is changing because as we transcend into this world of technology, and people get more and more used to using the technology, the content has to change along with it.
Mhm.
Content is everything in the entertainment business.
Mhm.
And how we present that content is the challenge in today's world.
Mhm. Okay, excellent. Mr. Homestoner, like, developing content also important. Beside that, in from the youth community, for the young community, we know Nas Daily, we know some other important personality, those who actually doing very interesting work with their new entertainment approach or with the new media approach. What do you think?
Well, there are several new changes on the horizon because more and more people are getting their content from the mobile appliances.
Mhm.
Uh, the standard way that I grew up, which was 30-minute and 1 hour programs,
Mhm.
are now down to 4 minutes or broken into pieces because people that get their information and entertainment from their mobile appliances don't spend more than 4 or 5 minutes on any particular subject. So we call that short form format.
Mhm.
So that's where you're going to see a big change in the fact that instead of getting one 90-minute movie, you might get 3 or 4 different segments of the movie.
Mhm.
That's number one. Number two is the old days when you were getting content, it was normally sponsored by someone like
Mhm.
General Motors or IBM or American Express. But in today's world, it's sponsored by subscribers.
Mhm.
So the subscription model is taking over uh, from the sponsored content because now it's enabling the viewer to interact as we are
Mhm.
right now, interact with the content.
Mhm.
And when you can interact, you can choose anybody you want. You have thousands of choices.
Mhm.
So it changed all the dynamics, all the mathematics, all the metrics that the sponsors would use have all changed, and the sponsors have now moved on into digital media or into Facebook or into Google or one of these things, and moved out of the big networks and the big satellite television companies.
Mhm.
These are just on the content side. On the technical side, we've added virtual reality. We've added a hologram. We've added 3D. We've added all of these new developments that have to be uh, transformed into the content
Mhm.
and then feed into short format. So as this is all happening, people don't see it, but the people in the industry
Mhm.
do see it.
Mhm. Mhm. Thank you. Beside that, Mr. Homestoner, I think social media has a huge influence in human lives. So, what do you think? Those who have lot of engagement, like World Talent Economy Forum, we are more with social media. We are actually working in between social media. So, what is the futures? how we can even improve our work. What type of advice you want to give those who want to work with more on social media?
Social media is interactive media, which means the viewer or the listener or the person who's digesting this media and content can interact with it. And the other part of it, what's behind the curtain, behind the curtain are the analytics. It is
Mhm,
getting to the point where the advertiser now can intrude into your privacy. Okay, they can say how many cars you have, what education you have, how many children you have. You can tell how long you've been watching this show. Uh, what is your economic background? How long
mhm,
did you stay on this platform? How many other shows like this have you watched? They know all that just by you clicking on. And that in our country, in the United States, is being looked at very closely right now as invasion of privacy. Pretty soon you're going to find people that will be selling their information. You
mhm,
don't get it for free.
mhm,
Everybody will have their ID number, and if Facebook or Snapchat or one of these characters wants to use or add you into their group to get your data, which is where the money is,
mhm,
okay, they'll have to buy it from you.
mhm,
That's
mhm,
what's coming.
mhm. Excellent. Mr. Homestoner, the social media actually have lot of good content, lot of bad content even, which create some problems and other things. We are very much concerned that at least we will develop some good content with the brilliant people like you. Many brilliant people actually join in our World Talent Economy Forum. But how our education system, our youth communities, our people, they can overcome from this challenging situation, like many bad content actually uh, create a lot of mental illness, many social problems, many crime and many things happening. So how do you want to like
Well,
give some advice?
there has to be filtration, filtration through keywords.
Mhm,
When somebody says a bad word or somebody says something about sex or about violence, when they start showing images, there has to be filtration as it goes through server after server after server that will filter that out.
mhm,
I mean, there has to be some kind of monitoring service. Like in the United States, we have the FCC, the Federal Communications Bureau, that will actually monitor whether it is general or uh, there's too much violence, there's too much sex, whatever the case may be. There has to
mhm,
be a filtration process
mhm,
because right now there is none, so you can see anything you want in
mhm,
any age. I can be 15 and tell them that I'm 18 and watch sex movies.
mhm,
So there's no monitoring service. There's nothing, as they say, free speech. But in a lot of cases that we see over here, it's too free.
mhm,
You can be too free, either on
mhm,
one side or on the other side. If you have unlimited freedom, there will be a lot of people out there that will be using it. And then those will come out in content.
mhm, mhm. Excellent. Sir, I love to learn more because you have a you are very dynamic, you have a good leadership, people are big fan of you. So like you have engagement with media and this kind of thing. So let's say movie productions and these things is very important right now. So you have experience from Hollywood as well as you have experience from Asia Pacific, China, and this kind of things. So when you develop story in Hollywood, because I am also from my childhood big fan of Hollywood. So how your writers, script writers, when they make the story, let's say for Avatar, let's say for Terminator 2s, this kind of how they work, how as a producer you actually support them, how innovative they are, how it works.
Well, script writers are storytellers. Okay, They have to their due diligence, do all their background, and they've got to really get into the story so that they can turn it into a play or a movie. So they write a script. So it's all up to their creative imagination, and then it has to be read by all the major producers to see who wants to do something with it, whether it's
Mhm,
a screenplay or a book or whatever the case may be. And then they can make it so that it's appealing to their audience.
mhm,
So there's a once again, it's a layered system where here in Hollywood, where I live, we have millions of people that all want to be uh, movie stars, write their own movie, produce their own movie, get in the movie industry, but only very, very, very small percentage can do that. They do that on purpose because otherwise the content wouldn't have any flavor, wouldn't have any, it would just be too much content. And when you put
mhm,
too much content out there, you break your audience into very small little pieces.
mhm, mhm,
So when you read these scripts, you have to match it to the, the demographics that you're looking
mhm, mhm. Yes, like you are a businessman as well. So what do you think? Media and entertainment business is good for new investors, good for different business personalities from Asia Pacific. What do you think? Still, they have lot of opportunities to invest or get good returns. What's going on inside the industry?
at. It's the standard economic formula. The higher the risk, the higher the return. Okay.
Okay.
If you're willing to take the risk, you're going to take a high risk of losing your money. But if you win big.
Hmm.
And the safer the investment, the lower the return.
Hmm.
It's as simple as that.
Hmm. Excellent. So, as you said, higher risk and higher return. What do you think? This media industry is a high risk and high return,
Yes,
or okay, okay,
70% of the people put their money in movies lose their money.
hmm,
And that's a lot of money.
hmm, exactly, exactly, excellent. Sir, beside that, I want to move with some of your childhood memory because I love to learn what is your like when you were children, how was your family, how you come to the business and this industry, how was your personal leadership development process?
Well, when I was a boy, I grew up in a very small town in western Pennsylvania, a farm
Mm,
town. And my parents moved to California when I was 13. When I came out here, I was like from a different country. I had
mhm,
different clothes, different mannerisms. I was just different from the kids here in Los Angeles.
mhm,
And it was very difficult for me to make friends because I was different.
mhm,
And the only thing that got me in and got the kids to like me is I could play the guitar and sing.
mhm,
So I would sit in the cafeteria by myself every day, strum my guitar and sing my songs. And over a couple of about, I guess, a year or two, I had other kids that would bring their guitars and their instruments, and we would have fun in the cafeteria playing music together. And I started
mhm,
a band, and I couldn't get any jobs because I was too young. I was only 15, 16 years old. So I
mhm,
started having my own dances, and I would
mhm,
rent the hall and hire the people, hire my own bands, and have these dances. And I made enough money to make a living. And I learned how to be the boss. I learned how
mhm,
to do everything. Okay, produce these things and perform at these things to collect the money and pay everybody else.
mhm,
So I took that on. I owned nightclubs, and then I owned media companies. I owned 6 radio stations, 5 TV stations, uh, all with that same formula. Basically, you learn the business, and once you learn the business, and you learn how to set everything up, delegate everything out, learn how to collect the money, pay the money out, and how to reinvest that money into something that will return a reasonable amount. And I've been doing that for all my life.
Thank you, sir. Sir, there are few things I just want to uh, like add because it will help you to discuss in different industry. Even if same thing is in entertainment industry, there are many things we can discuss about film. We can discuss about music, media, sports, attractions, museum, cultural event, performance art. But most important thing is that in the COVID-19 situations, most of the things is highly interrupted business wise they cannot move forward. So this media and entertainment industry, how you want to give them guideline, what should they do, what the strategy they should follow right now for survival purpose?
Well, we're doing a concert here in Los Angeles, which will be the biggest concert in American history. We're trying to raise money for homeless children because
Hmm.
they're starving in America. We can't let that happen. So we need to raise money and feed these kids. So what
Hmm.
we've done basically is we have worked with McDonald's Corporation to do a concert here at the biggest stadium in the West Coast, and we're going to have this concert in October. This
Hmm.
concert will have every superstar that you can even imagine:
Hmm.
Lady Gaga, Bruce Springsteen, Bono, all the biggest stars, 40 of them in 2 days.
Hmm.
Okay, but nobody can come to that arena and nobody can see this concert
Hmm.
live unless they have a shot card.
Hmm.
If they don't have a shot card, they cannot get in.
Hmm.
So I think that's going to create something for the future in the fact that to get people back into church, get them back into the malls, get them back into stadiums, in any kind of aggregative venue,
Hmm.
people are going to have a shot card. Period.
Hmm.
You don't have a shot card, you can't get in.
Hmm.
That's a good start.
Hmm. Yes. Sir, you are talking about this big time, big events and this kind of thing. So how actually it will help the grassroots level people? Even I know that American people have a very good culture. Even I can remember, I can hear from my father, because my father was a freedom fighter. Even he is in Bangladesh, that American local people, they support a lot for our freedom fighters with this kind of concert, like big concert. That time in 1971, American people also arranged this kind of thing. So this is very, very interesting and positive and influential. Even I'm a Bangladeshi man, now I live in Malaysia, but I can remember my father teach me that America has a big culture. So how this kind of cultural things grow, how you get too much of good energy to help the global communities. And definitely I want to give a special thanks to you to arrange this amazing event.
Well, there have to be what we call igniters or local activists that know how to aggregate people oh, under a mission. First of all, you have to have a mission. So you have to
Mhm.
create whatever the mission is, whether it's peace, love, feeding people, helping the less fortunate, whatever the case may be. Somebody's got to establish a mission, and then you have an agenda on how to reach that mission, and then surround yourselves with people like you, okay, that can go out and activate people to join in on that mission. And then you have a movement. Once you have a
Mhm.
movement, then you can get money. Money comes into the movement because people will donate. They don't want to do anything, they don't want to participate, but they'll put a little bit of money into it, especially if it's for something really worthy, like the elderly, like the homeless, like the lack of food, uh, even the COVID. People will put money in there, but they don't want to do anything. Somebody's got to do something, and that's why you have people like me and other people like me that have to execute a mission.
Mhm. Yes, this is fantastic idea. So, like, do you believe this media and entertainment industry, uh, in future, even now we have lot of challenge. Everybody has challenges. In future, they can create more opportunity for talented peoples, more opportunity those who want to work hard, those who want to establish their career. Is it possible, or they should choose their, like, regular profession as a professor, as a lawyer, or as a doctors?
In the entertainment business,
Mhm,
everyone has in their heart that they can do something. They can sing, they can dance, they can paint, they can do things. And they have everyone has that desire, some kind of entertainment element that they have.
mhm,
There's a very, very, very small percentage that have the discipline that who can stay alive and germinate that dream where most others are just going to give up. So you're going to have that very, very small veneer of people that are going to be like Lady Gaga and willing to wear a meat dress on the
mhm,
stage in front of an audience. Okay,
mhm,
nobody's willing to do that. She was,
mhm,
and now
mhm,
she's a superstar.
mhm,
I mean, the Elton John wear these big glasses like this and play the piano. Okay,
mhm,
wear a funny suit like a bunny rabbit. Okay,
mhm,
he didn't want to do that. His public
mhm,
relations people made him do that because then
mhm,
people would spend that 4 seconds to rivet their attention to him.
mhm,
These things are these things are very disciplinary. If you don't have discipline, you should not be in the entertainment business.
mhm,
Discipline is the key.
mhm.
You have to have
Excellent.
focus and discipline.
Mhm. Yes. When you give them the guideline about discipline and focus, so at present world, especially the actor or actress, or I want to say artist, they have lot financial challenge, they have lot family pressure, they have lot, like, external pressures and everything. Like, do you have process, like, you can monitor the talent people, you can help them to grow, you can, like explore the global communities, or how the talented people can make a bridging in between, let's say, Pacific Rim Chamber of Commerce and example in Asia Pacific?
Well, that that's a
I think he's in, with the internets and other things, he's like facing some challenges, and in that situations we just share few of the information regarding entertainment industry. So which will help us to understand the media entertainment industry and its overview. So I just want to focus with a few of the important informations, because I think these these peoples and they will join, and different kind of uh, media and entertainment fact we may understand through this process. So here is some of the important informations regarding entertainment industries, and this entertainment industry actually very much helpful for the youth community. Mr. Homestoner, he may join soon, but we can just think that uh, digital music, we can think about video streaming, we can think about uh, 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 this two technology can help us to sustain our things in an effective way. It helps us to grow our economy in an effective way. And yes, Mr. Homestoner.
yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we are just discussing about the bridging of Pacific Rim Chamber of Commerce and the Asia Pacific youth community, especially media and entertainment industry.
Like I said, we can break this down into pieces because it's so large. The entertainment industry is so complicated and large, and it changes as you go from one region to the other, from Bollywood to Hollywood. Okay, what a lot of
Mhm,
people don't know that in Nigeria alone, there's 16 Hollywood film festivals. That's in
mhm,
one country. Okay, you go around the world, and the world Hollywood is synonymous with entertainment.
mhm,
That's why I own a company called E Hollywood Studio,
mhm,
uh, and we basically uh, show movies from around the world on your mobile phone, and you can see them in 5 minute segments.
mhm,
I mean, you have to keep presenting to the younger people. You have to keep bringing the younger people in, and to do that, you have to create the format in what they like. Okay, you went from Facebook for people my age because the kids laugh when you say you're on Facebook because they're all on Instagram. But 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 before they were on Facebook. Okay, but it's not cool to be on Facebook.
mhm,
You're old if you're on Facebook. Okay,
mhm,
you got to be on Instagram or Snapchat
mhm.
or one of these other platforms that come in. Even in China, they have Kuaishou. If you know Kuaishou, Kuaishou is the fastest growing social media in China right now,
Mhm,
and it's nobody's ever heard of it before. But Chinese, they all know Kuaishou.
mhm.
Same in America. Americans are all over this Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, that means you're an old fart and you don't know anything. Okay,
Okay.
that's how
Okay.
it works.
Nice.
Okay, you either on or you're out.
Excellent. Excellent. Like, as you run one of the largest chamber of commerce, what is your present activities in COVID-19 situation? What is your next 1 and 3 years plan? Can you share with our local business organization?
Well, it's gonna change dramatically as we go along. More and more virtual things because people have been inside for almost 2 years already, and they're getting used to it. Okay, they're getting used to using things like Zoom and Skyping and the rest of these things because they've learned that they can save a lot of money by not traveling.
Mhm,
What does that do? That affects the travel industry and the hospitality industry. So that people in the hospitality industry, including the restaurants, have all been hurt seriously by this because people are not going out.
mhm,
Okay, and when you start seeing things like restaurants and small car rental companies and travel agencies and all these people going under, going bankrupt, people have a tendency to want to be able to survive. So they will devise and they will imagine or come up with a creative solution to this problem.
mhm,
So what you're going to see is the travel and hospitality industry will change their whole modus operandi. Okay,
mhm,
how they do business, and people that normally would use these services will use like special gates, special entrances. They'll have their shot cards. Everything will morph. They have to adjust to the new reality
mhm,
because you can't just chase away a pandemic. And in this case, it's not even a pandemic, it's an endemic, which means it's a worldwide problem,
mhm,
not a, not just one country or two countries, it's the entire world. Okay. And they're all basically in the pecking order, starting with the industrialized nations at the top and working their way to the bottom. And if you're at the bottom, okay, it means you don't have shots, you don't have vaccines, you can't afford them. Okay, so obviously you're not going to travel anywhere because you're rich. So as that goes down, as you say, 1 to 3 years, as that slowly boils down to the bottom level, okay, and people start to realize that they can travel again, they're not nearly going to travel like they did before. Everybody says, "Oh, when the pandemic is over, we're just going to go back to normal." You are not going back to normal.
Mhm.
Okay, there's going to be this 3 to 5 year window of where things are going to slowly morph back to where almost it was normal.
Mhm.
But there's always going to be that fear, that overwhelming paranoia that there's going to be another one or a different kind or other things, other kinds of diseases. But the world is different now.
Mhm.
These microbes, these viruses, these small bacteria are all basically being they're evolving and they're getting new uh, they're evolving against the medicines that we use to kill them.
Mhm.
So they're always going to be around. There'll be a different kind or a different measure, but they'll be here. So we have to adjust the next 5 years to live with this and to try to make our businesses grow at the same time. The
Mhm.
entertainment business is going to go straight to the internet. It's almost, you're not going to see things like the old days with the theaters where people sitting shoulder to shoulder in the theater. That's
Mhm.
not going to happen anymore.
Mhm.
That means the entire theater system has to change.
Mhm.
Okay, the concerts, the plays, the Broadway, everything has to change.
Mhm.
It's never going to be the same.
Mhm.
So how do you do that? You have to slowly create the solutions to the problem as you grow the business. That's a challenge.
Mhm.
But I mean, there are young people like you all over the world that have a good brain, a good intelligence, and you know how to analyze problems and try to come up with solutions to those problems. All I can do is point them out.
Mhm.
Somebody's got to fix it,
Mhm.
and that takes time, and money.
Mhm. Yes, excellent, excellent analysis. Like, as you have to run a lot of business and lot of business people, like, what will be the next 5 business? Let's say people can focus, they can get a good return. Let's say.
You have to look at the new industries, the new
Mhm.
industries,
Mhm.
new industries like an AI, computer science, uh, and study of the elderly, the gerontology, uh, uh, the genealogy and studying the genes. My son was telling me, my son's a doctor. He was telling me the other day that they can inject or they can adjust your gene chains, the gene chains, so that they can make you when you're born, you're never going to get any of these diseases because it was put in your DNA chain, your genes. They can give you black hair, yellow hair, blue eyes. They can do that now in today's world. You can just imagine what they're going to do 20 years from now. Okay, if they're going to do that with these new industries like automation and robotics and all these different new sciences, that's where you want to put your money because there's growth in there. It's going to grow. People are, uh, we have right now, just in America alone, we have almost 80 million Americans that are over 60 years old.
Mhm.
That means all the goods and services that go along with the elderly are going to grow, and they're going to grow a lot. Then right behind it is the age wave of China. China is
Mhm.
6 times bigger than us.
Mhm.
By the year 2030, okay, which is only about 8 years from now, half the population of China will be over 50. Now, they've only had one child for a
mhm,
long time. That means you only have one child to support two adults. Okay, it's going to get rough, and they're not ready for it. They're not looking at that. They're not. You don't see the big wave, the big tsunami coming at them. Where you get down where you are, you get to Malaysia, the Philippines, Thailand, down into Indonesia. The average age is 30, young. Vietnam, the average age is 27.
mhm,
Okay, that's a whole different scenario. There you have the youth that need jobs.
mhm,
Okay, there are no jobs. You got to make them. You got to create them.
mhm,
You're not going to be able to get all these kids to go to these schools and then come out expecting a job, and there's no job. Okay, but when you get into developed countries like China and the United States and any Western Europe, people are old. I mean, Korea right now is aging at a rapid rate. Japan's been old for a long time. The United States' average age is now almost 50. You got to look at these things because population is what determines everything. Psychographic, demographic, oh, these things define everything, especially
mhm,
industries and where the future is. You've got to determine where those populations are going and where the opportunities are.
mhm, mhm. Excellent. Excellent. Mr. Homestoner, this is the great strategy you are providing for the Asia Pacific and other things. Besides that, you are also a big fan of grassroots level, like small organizations. We are also working with many small organizations, those who are just trying to survive in this pandemic situations. What the strategy can help them.
Well, that's my wheelhouse. That's my expertise. That's what I dedicate my life to is the promotion of small and micro businesses.
Mhm,
The only way that you can survive in this environment is to connect and grow. You can't stay in your yard. You can't stay in your province, your state. You can only grow so much when you're inside a box. You have to reach out of the box. You have to connect. You have to find somebody somewhere who has the same dreams and aspirations as you have. And now you've got two people, and then you have four people, then you have six, and you have eight, and then you have 20, and then you have 100, all connecting and helping each other grow. No matter what country you're in, what language you speak, you have to connect. That's the future.
mhm. Excellent. So connectivity is the productivity. They can use the social media, they can use the local ecosystems, they can use chamber of commerce like you. So like when we discuss about chamber of commerce, when we discuss about new media and connectivity and productivity, let's say we have many cultural difference, but you also from different cultures. But what the core things actually help you to grow, move around the world and developing this kind of chamber of commerce, doing business like entertainments and different sectors? What the like core like inner point of view actually help you to make you so successful?
Well, first of all, you got to like people.
Okay,
That's the most
excellent.
important thing. And
Yes.
you don't classify people by how old they are or how educated they are or how rich and poor they are. You've got to like people in general. And then you've got to investigate what the needs are.
Mhm,
Why are you not successful? Why are you not moving up? Once you've arrived at those equations of how you identify what they're doing wrong,
mhm,
then you can match them up with somebody who's doing that you're doing wrong. Right. Okay. That's when you connect these two together and you're doing something that they don't do, and they're doing something that you don't do, and you harness each other's energy and abilities to succeed in those particular areas. That's the key. Uh, Once again, getting back to this is helping these micro businesses and small businesses grow and hire more people, create more jobs, and become more successful.
Mhm. Excellent, excellent idea. So you work with big corporations, you work with the big industry like entertainments and other things. I think we have many young people, they love to know more about Hollywood. So how
I've
you
been
want to
in
share your
Hollywood a long time.
okay, excellent. Okay, okay, thank you. So beside that, like, let's say, as you long time you live in China, long time you visit in Singapore, Malaysia, and many other places in Asia Pacific. Even if I ask you, like, what you learned from this Asia Pacific culture, what inspire you a lot?
Family,
Excellent. Hmm.
family.
Hmm.
In the developed countries, the more money they get, the smaller the family gets. It's a weird kind of a uh, overview that I see, and I've traveled in 52 countries.
Hmm.
Uh, in the less developed countries, they have larger families because the father and the mother don't want to grow old and nobody's going to take care of them.
Hmm.
If they have a lot of children, then they feel more comfortable that when in their old age, somebody will be there to take care of them. In
Hmm.
Western society, they have nannies and health facilities where when you get too old, they just send you off into an old folks home. They don't have to look at you. They can just be young and in the gym and strong and driving around their convertible, and they don't have to look at the old people. They don't want to look at old people. They want them to be away where they don't have to see them. It's the youth culture, okay? And that is a big, huge problem that we have in developed countries. And that is breaking the family units apart. One of my biggest wishes before I leave this planet is to see a resurgence in the family unit, the family. That's why I dedicate myself to, I'm the chairman of the advisory committee to the Family Film Association. We're trying to bring out more films and more content that are more family oriented.
Hmm.
Okay. That's a
Hmm.
big deal for me.
Hmm.
I think that
Excellent.
everything, normalcy, calm, serenity, happiness emanates from a family unit. I mean, in today's world, even China, 60% of the marriages end up in some kind of divorce.
Hmm.
That's crazy. That whole country was based on the family. So you see all kinds of confusion. It's kind of like when you're cutting the grass and you see an anthill in the yard, and you take a hose and you water the anthill so you wash it away. Okay, it's the same kind of thing. You're just taking humans that have been families for 2,000 years and washing it away. You, you're not going to be normal anymore.
Hmm.
You've changed the normalcy,
Hmm.
and where people get their information on TV, on the radio, on the social media, in the films, on television. There's nothing there that's promoting the family. More content has to be developed to encourage people to keep the families and build the family.
Excellent. Yes. Excellent, excellent. I'm also from a big family. I can remember when I grow, I have around 30 family members in my family. We have a big house, more than 1 acres of land. I grew up with my grandfather, my grandmothers, from both of my father's side and mother's side, and we have a big family. So, and from family we learn a lot what we are implementing. Let's say, as a when I running organizations, I know how to sacrifice myself. I can do and what I learned from my family. So this is very important. I love. But anyway,
Let me
in
ask,
many,
let me ask you a question.
yes,
Okay,
of
this
course.
is a very important question. Your brothers and sisters,
Mhm.
how many children did they have?
Okay, very good questions. Like my father's father, we are only two brothers. My like me and my one brother, I have in Bangladesh. He lives in Dhaka. But my grandfather and grandmother, like my from my father's side, they have 14 children. Okay, and I'm very honest with you. I saw in my old days my grandmother. He take lot of support from his family, from my father, my uncle, my auntie. Everybody actually support her. Anyway, my father actually died before my grandmother. So after my father died, she actually died. So yeah, I definitely miss my family environment, and I learn a lot from my grandmother.
How many
She,
brothers and sisters do you have?
I have only one brother.
Okay, how many children does your brother have?
Yes, my brother actually now engaged with like garments business in Bangladesh, and he has one yes, one daughter.
There you go. And how many children do you have?
I don't have.
That's my point. Okay,
Okay.
you came from a family with 14 children down to two.
Hmm.
Why?
Oh, yeah.
Because you became
Yes.
educated and have a business,
Yes.
okay, and you have a higher standard of living that costs a lot more
Hmm.
money. So you
Hmm.
can afford less and less children. So your
Hmm.
population gets less and less and less
Hmm.
than the population before you. That's the
Hmm.
point. And that's
Exactly. Yes,
happening
you are
all
correct.
around. That's what's happening all around the world.
True. True.
And so that's the issue that human beings have to look at to sustain themselves in the 21st century is the fact that these populations are in fact not getting larger, but they're getting smaller.
Hmm. True.
The more successful they become, the smaller the family becomes. The family disintegrates into small pieces.
Hmm.
It's not the same.
Hmm. True. But what I can understand, like from our culture, let's say even from Malaysia, I strongly engage with academia and education industry. So I meet a lot of people. I have many students, many people. So I observe they are big fan of North America, big fan of USA. And on the other hand, people like friends like you, and I have many friends, they are big fan of like Asian cultures, like what you were talking about, family, meditations, some food habits, spicy. It's very interesting. Like, what is the reason behind that?
Environment.
Okay. Hmm.
So you go from North America, which are just these endless miles and miles and miles of nothing, or farms,
Hmm.
where you have a very low populated area. All the populations in North America are on the coast. They're on the west coast, the east coast, and down in the south around Texas and Florida. The rest of the country is open land, okay, and mostly temperate climate where you have winter, summer, and snow and rains or whatever. Where in Southeast Asia, when you're talking, that's tropical.
Hmm.
Okay, it has a whole different. You eat what's around you.
Hmm.
When I was living in China and moving from one city in China to the next, the food would change dramatically because
Hmm.
people would eat what's around them. If you're in a rice paddy, you eat frog. Okay, if you're living in Siberia, you eat dog. Okay, you eat what's around you. Okay, Indonesia, they eat cat. People in the West would shudder to think of eating a cat, when in fact in Indonesia, it's not unusual.
Hmm.
So you eat what's around you. That starts with the food. Okay. Then it starts with the culture.
Mhm.
If it's warm all the time, then it reflects in the way you dress. Okay. And the way you conduct yourself because you're not in a hurry. Your mannerisms are different. And when you get to the northern hemisphere, where it's cold and whatever, people are much more stressed out and they have a more stressed lifestyle. So as you change the environment, the people change with the environment.
Excellent. So as you promoting entertainment industry, right? So how we can promote more like this family, this social culture, these values, because now we are more like in entertainment industry, like more on like computers, more on robotics, more on industry 4.0. But how we can make more, be
Well,
more human.
that's the trick, my son. That's the trick is how
Okay.
you merge that technology into the family context. Okay,
Mhm.
make make the family feel comfortable around the technology,
Mhm.
and make that technology adapt itself to the country, to the family. That is, that's the future. If
Mhm.
you can do that, and people can feel comfortable, like the Jetsons. I don't know if you know who the Jetsons are, but uh, the Jetsons were a cartoon series back in the 1980s, 1970s about the future of a family and a rocket ship, and they were traveling around the universe as a family, and it was cute and it was very popular. But you've got to do, you've got to make people less afraid of the technology and learn how to adapt it into their family and use it effectively.
Mhm.
You can't go on this way when people jam up the freeway and you look in the car and there's one person in the car.
Mhm.
Okay, because they all have to have a car
Mhm.
materially. So they all have to have a car, and there's only one person in it, and it's got seats for five more people. There's only one person in it.
Mhm.
Those things are really reflective of our society. You go to work, you're in a little corner office by yourself, sit there all day by yourself on the computer all by yourself. Then you go home to your apartment, then you're all by yourself in your car, and you're all by yourself.
Mhm.
You don't interact. You're not in a family environment. You go a different direction, and that's where we're going. And we got to change that because that's why there's so many problems in the society today. There's no there's no umbilical cord. There's nothing to hold on to. You call your mother once a month to see if she's still alive. Okay, that has to change.
Mhm.
How many times did you call your mother last month?
Mhm.
Huh?
Yes.
How many times did you call your mother last night?
Like what your question please?
How often do you call your mother?
Every day he was with me, she was with me, like in Malaysia she was with me. Even before COVID, every 2 3 months I fly to Bangladesh. And my mother's I what should I say, I have a very strong family
Okay,
bondings, not only
so
with
you're a
my
good.
mother.
So you're not like you're not normal. Okay, normal
Okay.
people don't do that.
No, like my father died in front of me, so I understand what the meaning uh,
That's
of the
my
life.
point. You're different.
Yes, even
Most people, most young guys your age
yes,
are lucky to call their parents once a month.
yes, true, true. And like trust me, my major like difficult part of my life, like I told you, my father died before my mother, grandmother. So as a elder son of my father, I have to bring my father dead body to my grandmother. So I can understand that was a big lesson for me, because I'm a human. I will be in your age. I have to grow old. I need someone who can take care of me. So if what should I say, it is our culture. Before I eat, I call my mother. Before I expend my money, I send money to my mother. So I do not know, I do not want to promote too much myself, but I love my family. Not only my mother, actually, I told you I have a big family. After my father died, my auntie, my uncles, even uncle's family, we have a very big family. So I try to do something for them.
You know, I lived many years in not only the United States but other countries. Okay,
Mhm,
especially in Asia. I spent
mhm,
15 years living in China, 4 years living in Vietnam, and a year in Japan, and a year in Korea. So
mhm,
I've been living abroad for a long time, and I
mhm,
find that the loyalty between the family unit,
mhm,
especially in Japan, uh, where they didn't have any kids, and now they're old and they don't have any children,
mhm,
is very sad, very very sad, because now the
mhm,
family unit is broken down to the point where it's hardly even recognizable anymore. So
mhm.
when I hear somebody like you that's going through these emotional things with their close knit family, and most of these people don't even know who their uncles and aunts are. They don't even know who they
Yes,
are. They don't even know their
yes,
aunts. They don't know their nieces, their nephews. They don't even know their relatives. They don't know them.
yes.
Okay, that's the price you pay when you become industrialized nation. The
Mhm,
more money you make, the smaller the family, and the less you are apt to interact with the family.
mhm. Yes. Uh, it's my Malaysian house, me, my wife, Humaira, and my mother. So she was with me in Malaysia before COVID. I send her. I go with her, and because my daughter wife born new baby, so that's why she become grandmother. So that's why she has to go to Bangladesh.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this is actually different culture. My mother in Malaysia. You see, it's my father. My father died already.
Mm-hmm.
So I love family environment. That's why I love you so much. You have a beautiful smile and you have a fatherhood attitudes. Me and my wife, anyway, my friends, my mother. So that
My
day
my greatest tribute in life. I've lived my whole life just so I
yes.
could be called dad. Okay,
Okay.
I'm the dad. I'm the dad.
Excellent.
Okay,
Excellent.
and I
Excellent.
and I love being the dad. Okay, so
Excellent.
the thing about it is that I'm trying to encourage others to be the dad.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is very, like, when I discuss with you, I feel good, very good. Your smile, your fatherhood attitudes, how you support me, how you guide me. It's like you have a big heart. So that is the things we like. Asian people, we are big fan of people those who have big heart. Even I don't know. Even in childhood, I'm a big fan of a wrestler, Big Daddy. Yes. So you can be our Big Daddy.
Yeah,
Okay.
Big Daddy.
Yeah. Big Daddy. So
Yeah.
it's really, really great discussions. I really enjoy. It's a very, very good and entertainment for World Talent Economy Forum. We need more of your support, and we can promise you we can make more valuable life, more strong ecosystems, and more global community with the help of you and your organizations.
Well,
So
you're part of me there, son. You're our president down there in Malaysia. So you just keep doing what you're doing.
thank you, thank you, thank you. So thank you for joining today's sessions. What's your concluding remarks for today?
Well, I want everyone to think about the family. Okay, save the family. That's what I want you to take on this Easter Sunday. Remember, this is a family day. Everybody
Thank
sits down, has dinner together. You know, how are you? I'm fine. We have to speak more. We have to talk more. We have to connect more with our family.
you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Homestoner, for all of your support for World Talent Economy Forum. Hope we will grow together. And every day I'm learning from you. And I want to create more learning opportunity for our audience. We want to do a series with you and your president, Pacific Rim Chamber of Commerce. So when you available, just give me times. We will arrange our session. Thank you, Mr.
I'm
Homestoner.
always happy to see you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining this session.
Take care.
Take care.